Hi guys. Oh yeah, okay. So YouTube is mirrored because I ran out of hours of free streaming on my streaming service, which is like annoying, but oh well. Hi guys. Hello guys that are in Joey's stream. Um, I'm gonna wait for people to join. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna talk about this fantastic performance that I went to today at. So it's a musical theater in Ukraine called Operetta. It's in Kyiv, and there is this very famous novel by Ivan Baghryany, a Ukrainian author, and the novel is called Tigrolove, or in translation, it's Tiger Tamers or Tiger Catchers. Hi, Ireland. The one thing that I know in Gaelic is Goma. Someone taught me, but so. Basically there is this novel and it's fantastic, and I was invited because my father's classmate, or no, someone who went to school with my dad but was like is a year younger. She's the director of the musical theater where they run this play, and this play got like a Ukrainian version of an Emmy or an Oscar, and it was a phenomenal play. So it's about Soviets shipping people to the gulags. It's a phenomenal play based on a story of like this one guy, and it was beautiful. It was genuinely really nice to see, and I was very excited that I got to go there. It was me and Masha who went. Masha from Kyiv Independent, and we had a fantastic time. I don't think Tiger Tamers is translated to English yet, but one day it will be, and I really recommend that you read it because it's very, very interesting. Also today, I want to ask you guys to be okay with me starting a fundraiser, and I'm going to explain what it is. And if you're from Joey's audience, I don't feel comfortable for like, as in like, you don't have, like, as in, not that no one has to participate, but as in like, I don't want to like, I don't want to use Joey's platform for that, but since I'm already doing a live, you will get to hear it, but please don't feel pressured at all. No one should feel pressured at all. But basically, there have been a lot of strikes on Ukraine's power infrastructure, and I've been made aware that there likely will be power cuts this summer, and everybody in this country, or most people in this country, own a freaking power station. Or like a power generator. So there is this power generator. It's called an EcoFlow. And there are two options that are good for like blackouts that could technically charge up your electronics. One of them is $700 and the other one is $1,000. The one that's $700 will not power up a fridge, for example. If like it's a long-term blackout or something like that, then, the one that's like hours or so for groceries to not go bad, like a fridge is important, but then that would need to be that 1260 watt power station, and that one is $1,000. It's called an EcoFlow. They have a lot of different models. They have small models, big models, whatever models, but basically most people try to get the one that's like 1,000 because it's because it can power up your electronics like a washer or a dryer or something like that when there is a blackout and when there are electricity cuts. So I wanted to pretty much ask you if you guys would be okay with me starting a fundraiser so I could get that. Because Russia just destroyed a major power plant and it's close to Kyiv. I do have electricity, as you see, but we don't know. So Grumpy and Kat had already contributed to this fundraiser while I was telling them about potentially wanting to do this fundraiser. And so for the fundraiser, Yulia, you're in an apartment, right? Yes, an apartment. So EcoFlows are, so Super Hornet says, what parts of the city were affected if you're awake? What do you mean? Parts of the city yesterday? I don't, there's ASMR sounds like Cindy is eating something. Yes, she's chewing a bone. I hope the ASMR sounds are not distracting you. But basically, we'll get to the news and you'll find out more. To be honest, in Kyiv, there wasn't, so there were missiles flying by Kyiv, but they didn't like necessarily strike anywhere in the city. I slept through it. I woke up every hour to check if they were anywhere like near the center or anything like that, because I was incredibly tired yesterday. I hear power there may become limited. I hope you and Masha are safe. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. I was going to ask you if you would be okay with me starting a fundraiser to raise money for an EcoFlow for me, for my use, because also, can someone block that Scott Ritter like lover, because it's a power generator, and add on another battery unit without the control electronics. Yeah, so I found an EcoFlow, but EcoFlow devices are basically like $1,000, and they range from like the one that can power like a fridge. It's a battery unit. Yes, right. Okay, thank you. I did not know how to like properly characterize this, but it's a battery. It's a battery unit, and it basically can power. It can basically power like a fridge and stuff like that. So if that's okay with you, so I would like to get the one that is the 1260 watt, which is basically $1,000. Unfortunately, also because they're obviously more needed now, would the EcoFlow work with your apartment? Yes, it would, because I actually have. So it's a newer building, and it's somehow it's designed for like power outages in that way, I suppose. So there is like you can plug in a power generator, but it's also like a power battery. So you can technically just like walk it around an apartment and just like plug in devices that you need to plug in. So so Kat and Grumpy have already donated $70 together. So technically we are almost 10% in for this. I have $1,000 battery, and it only really powers my 2 fridges for 4 hours. Well, I mean, Ukraine is 240. I wouldn't, I don't live in a house. I live in an apartment, and I mean, it would be nice to plug in my fridge, at least for some time, but it would also be nice to be able to, like, I don't know, dry my hair and do things like that, when there isn't internet and charge devices, and provided that I do daily news updates, it'd be great to be able to charge my computer and things like that if things go wrong. And also, Ukraine doesn't have Ukraine's fridges are not nearly as huge as America's fridges, and they don't consume nearly as much electricity. My fridge is probably like 1/3 of the fridge that's regular in America. It's actually half of the fridge that I have in my apartment in the US, or had in my apartment in the US. So it's a very different fridge. I don't have a balcony. I do have a big window. EcoFlows can be charged from. So the EcoFlow that I'm talking about would be charged. It also has the ability to. No, someone isn't restreaming me. Joey asked me to substitute for him and do the news while he's on a vacation. But so, what was I saying? I recommend you buy a very powerful one. Well, very powerful ones are incredibly expensive, but I know quite a few people who have EcoFlows, and everybody in this country recommends either a Blue Yeti or an EcoFlow. That's how everybody had gotten through blackouts. But yes, I don't. Donated $70 to prevent John from aiming for 69. Yeah, pretty much. I do have a window. I do have a quite large window, and that Oh my gosh, EchoFlow has the ability to be charged from solar power. Use the Tesla as a power bank. I don't have a Tesla. I don't have a car. So like I'm kind of fucked here. So yeah, also someone just donated $20 as well. So we're actually at 90, which makes it almost 10% of the whole goal, which is quite powerful and amazing. So yeah. Thank you very much. I'm really grateful for that. UK is 242, well, 230 these days. Yeah, so, oh my gosh. So we're at 140 actually. Thank you so much, Jarell. Oh, that's a cool name. I've never seen that name. It's a very pretty name. Is it Jarell or Jarell? Yulia already has advice from people who have experience in Ukraine. Please stop splaining. Yeah, I did. Actually, the person who recommended me the battery is Wikipedia, who is a drone operator. It's a similar battery to the one that he has, and he was saying that these are the best for my purposes. Sorry, Sini is like chewing on her bone very actively, and I'm sure that you're hearing ASMR, but like what you're not seeing is her entire head is covered in like little pieces of that bone because she's so excited to eat it. Hi, Debbie. I hope you stay safe. Thank you. Get a refurbished Blue Yeti on eBay or AliExpress. So AliExpress is going to take over a month, and eBay does not ship to Ukraine. So I'm limited to the options that are available in Ukraine, or like in Poland, which is not that far away from Ukraine, but I also would have to figure out how to like bring it here. And with the border problems right now, it's actually quite hard to do things like that. And I can't buy, basically if I buy a refurbished one and like ship it to friends in the UK to ship it to me, shipping is going to even out. Shipping is going to even it out because it's a very, very heavy thing. So there is that, unfortunately. I wish it was as easy as you know, Nova Posta shipping everything. Yes, but an EchoFlow device is incredible. It's heavy, so it's going to cost about the same amount. And also Nova Posta doesn't ship batteries. You can't actually ship batteries unless you are an organization. Unless you are an organization that ships things, an individual can't ship an accumulator battery by air. You have to ship it by sea, and I don't even know if you can ship by sea from the UK. The Yulia Mafia expands its territory. Mafia. Oh. So yeah. Wait, Mark. So I think we might be at 160 after Mark's donation. I just didn't see it pop up on the screen, so I don't know if it was the one that I already counted in or not, or yeah. But I think we're at 160, which is quite crazily fast. So thank you very much. What is the feeling now with speaking Russian in Ukraine? Very negative, and it should be negative. And I've spoken about this on my previous lives because, like, here's the thing: you can choose to speak Russian to your like friends and parents and stuff like that, but you should 100% not speak Russian to your children, because the way we got here, right, and the way we got so many people like believing Russia and I don't know, and like thinking that we are inferior and seeing all of this stuff is because all of our TV was in Russian and everybody spoke Russian and everybody was watching Russian TV shows and reading Russian books and reading things with Russian translations. And so Ukraine was influenced by Russia a lot. And so in order for our children to not be in the same situation as we are and our grandchildren, they should not know Russian. That's the thing. It's like they should just not be in the infosphere of Russian. So yeah, the attitude towards Russian language and speaking Russian language in Ukraine is pretty negative now. But as in like, no one's going to like come up to you in the street and yell at you. But at the same time, like I think that people who have a hard time switching to Ukrainian, I understand. People that я знаходжуся в штаті Kyiv. People that just don't see the point. Those are the people that I have no respect for. Also, I just got a $68 donation, so that makes it $228 in for the EcoFlow, which is quite wild and very fast. And thank you so much. Your light's blinking sometimes unexpectedly. Is it how it should be? Yeah. So actually, let me go turn it on, because it's plugged into a circuit breaker extension cord. And so I basically turn off the extension cord by pressing a button, and Jesus. Yeah, and so it just does that. I don't know what it is, but it just does that all the time. We kind of ended things quickly yesterday. How much money is needed to close this fundraiser? So, Martin, were you here from the very beginning or no? Because, yeah, I think you were. So, an EcoFlow, which is a power station that powers your like devices and potentially a fridge and stuff like that, is about $1,000. And I started this live asking if you would be okay with me one time fundraising, not for the military, but for getting an... Oh no, the drones are closed. We fundraised for the drones. The drones are closed. I'm moving money from all of the... we closed the fundraiser yesterday. Yeah, we closed it fully. And we also have we closed the fundraiser, and we actually have $60 access, which was for the drones. So I'm going to roll that over to the next drone fundraiser that we have, and if everyone is okay with that. So the next fundraiser for drones that is going to start is going to be starting at $60, because there is already that there. So I'm currently moving the money between PayPals to get it to my Ukrainian account to donate it to the monojar of Third Assault. Sorry, I almost ate the word monojar. So yeah, we did close the fundraiser yesterday, which was incredibly like, wow, but I was also like tired yesterday, and I feel like I didn't have enough of a reaction to it. But it's pretty freaking awesome. So $228 plus $25. If someone is better at math than I am, 220. So it would be 253. So we're at $253. And someone says amazing pronunciation as for Ukrainian. I mean, I don't like the part as for Ukrainian, because like that's just kind of, it feels like a backhanded compliment. It's like, oh, you speak English very well for a Ukrainian. I speak English since I was a kid, so it's like, you know, I would better hope that my English pronunciation and my English was good enough, not just for a Ukrainian, but you know, for someone who speaks English. Do you mind to ask any Liv update? Has she met her new family and settled well? Yes, she's doing so well. I talk to her new like doggy people every day. They send me lots of videos. She's super happy. She seems to have settled in there very well. They live in they live in the suburb right near Lviv. So there is lots of greenery. They live right near a park and a stadium and a forest. So they take her on very long walks. She's not nearly as scared of dogs anymore, because it's like a quieter town, and she sees dogs on the street now. And if they're French bulldogs, she interacts with them. I would show you, like, the thing is, like, I can show you the videos next week when I'm not streaming simultaneously on Joey's channel as well, because at that point I will be able to actually turn over I will be able to like show you something on my phone. Oh, actually, no, wait. can't estimate it as a native, though. I mean, I don't think, well, it doesn't sound like, okay, you know what? I don't care. Thing is, like, I'm happy with how I speak English, but the thing, but like, when you pay a compliment to someone, make sure that it doesn't sound like a backhanded compliment that kind of sounds like a compliment, but is also like, sort of like, oh, you did okay for a woman. Oh, you speak well for a Ukrainian. Like, that's a really shitty compliment, you know? Anyways, so any plans in the future for moving back to NYC? Ask me something easier. But so Martin actually just donated, and we're at 353. Thank you, Martin. I'm going to put that here in chat just so I remember the amount, and then I'm going to show you some videos of Liv, and then yes, I will provide you on the update on Kharkiv. I think it's right about time to start the news, because we are 20 minutes in and we have been talking about echo flows and stuff like that, which is all good and well, and and thank you so much for helping me with the venture of acquiring an echo flow, and I will be demonstrating demonstrating it to you the second that I get it, hopefully soon. Someone saying, so I believe you're not close to clash regions, right? I don't know what clash regions are. I believe you're talking about frontline regions. I am in Kyiv, so I'm not near the front line. No, I'm in the capital of Ukraine, but I don't see how that is relevant. Okay, so what was I gonna do? I was gonna show you some videos of Liv. If you're on TikTok, it's going to be harder for me to show it to you, but I will absolutely try my best to do that. I will download a couple of videos right now that Liv's family sent me. Honestly, like, she is such a happy puppy there. Oh, this is such a funny little scene that it's a very funny moment that my video of her just froze at. But I will show you. So for those of you who don't know, I obviously have a French bulldog over here that you see all the time. Her name is Cinny. You can hear her. You can see her ear right there. I tried to adopt a French bulldog. I named her Sliva, or Liv, and I named her Sliva or Liv, and she is a very great dog. She was rescued from Bucha a while ago, and she is fantastic. But the thing is, I tried for 4 months. I was talking to, dog trainers and stuff like that. And we were working for 4 months to get these dogs to get along. But Liv needs to be the only dog in a family. She kept attacking Cinny for food, for attention, for a lot of other things. And at some point, Cinny basically snapped and attacked Liv and would not be in the same room with her. She would just go wild and crazy. So I had to rehome Liv. And that started a really long process of me interviewing lots of different families and trying to find the best family for her, because I love Liv and I really want her to have the best that she could have. And I found this amazing couple. They're a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and they live near Lviv, where I'm from, and they live very close to they live very close to a stadium and a field, and they take her for walks, and she for long walks, and she's having a fantastic time there, and I'm so happy for her. So let me see if I can show you a video of Liv. And I don't know, it's because I'm so annoyed I'm so annoyed with the fact that I can't use the stupid streaming software tonight. Okay, so it should be in downloads, right? 1 second. Okay, what if I do not window, downloads? Okay, so that should be good. 1 second. What do you see on the screen? Why is it not? Is it doing it? is it doing it? I don't think it is. I don't think you're seeing this on YouTube, are you? I think you're still seeing me, right? Someone let me know. Okay. Well, so this is okay, so you're not seeing it. It's still seeing you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'll have to are you in the US now? No, I'm in Ukraine. Okay, well, so maybe a photo on your phone. I can't because my phone. You know what? I've got the solution for you. Oh my god. One sec. I actually do. I was gonna say like I'm using my phone to talk to you guys, but I just realized, okay, I can try to do this if it's on. It has battery. It doesn't. It does not have battery. Oh no. Well, that's annoying. Okay, I'll try again. One sec. Sorry, guys. I'm definitely not very helpful right now in showing you. I will have to go back to the news. I will show you Liv. I will. I decided that it's a mission for tonight and it's going to be accomplished, just not immediately. I'm going to have to charge my device first. Yulia is always so prepared. Sorry, I wasn't prepared to show you Liv's videos for sure. And I'm also not prepared to show something on the screen simply because I don't want to pay $20 a month for a streaming software. So normally I use a streaming software to stream, and it has a limitation of 20 hours of streaming per month unless you pay $20 a month to have an unlimited plan. And provided that I'm like not necessarily making money right now, I am not trying to buy a freaking streaming software. So right now I am going to just wait and use YouTube as a streaming software. You can show a picture in TikTok as a background. Yeah, but I am streaming on this account, Joey's account, and on YouTube as well. And all of you want to see videos of Liv. So I'm going to have to wait for this device to charge so I can just pick it up and show it to you. If only it was that easy, that would be great, but it's not that easy. Hey, Joey, looking good. I know, the power of a haircut, a beard trim, and some light core makeup, you know? Alrighty, so we're going to go with the news. First of all, the biggest news today is that the EU decided that they're not going to pass a budget for the EU unless 7 Patriot batteries are going to be found and sent to Ukraine immediately, which is actually amazing news. And there is a lot of stuff that's been happening in the EU and NATO that does show how the mood in Europe is shifting. So I was talking about how I think that if the US actually pulls a plug on aid to Ukraine, then Europe is going to step up, because Europe is not going to risk having a war break out on its soil. However, according to the Atlantic Council, aid to Ukraine is seen as a strategic investment for the US rather than charity. Key points from the article include: aid to Ukraine comes at a price, but can strengthen both the economic and national security of the United States. The ongoing war in Ukraine is depleting the Russian arsenal and weakening the military power of the Russian Federation. American arms exports to Ukraine stimulate the U.S. economy and reinforce U.S. global leadership in armaments. The war provides invaluable intelligence on Russian tactics, helps improve U.S. and NATO defense strategies, and serves as a testing ground for U.S. weapon systems. The defense industry, driven by war and deterrence, has seen a surge in revenues for major defense contractors, injecting significant capital into local economies and creating jobs. Despite these economic benefits, some senators and representatives whose state or district benefit from defense contracts have voted against aid to Ukraine for purely political reasons. The defense industry relies on components and subcomponents sourced and manufactured in various states and districts, benefiting a wide range of congressional districts. Combat operations in Ukraine allow for a detailed assessment of U.S. capabilities and effectiveness against a formidable adversary, as well as the identification of the Pentagon's shortcomings and vulnerabilities. The war has significantly weakened the Russian Federation, draining its military strength and resources. A defeat of the Russian Federation in Ukraine would not only strengthen China's deterrence, but also prevent an escalation around Taiwan. So I actually talked about this subject and many more subjects today. I recorded an episode of the podcast. I was being interviewed by Corey. He's an American who's been living in Ukraine for the past 8 years. He's really great. He has his own channel and he sort of does like travel content around Ukraine. He shows you like cool places and culture of different places and things like that. He's great. So Corey. Corey interviewed me today for a podcast that he hosts with Gaze Media, Gaze, okay, Gaze, not Gaze. and I'm going to post it when it comes out, I think maybe next week or the week after that. And I'm not going to talk too much about this subject right now because I had already said a lot about it in that interview, and I would really like for you to listen to it because we do cover a lot of subjects. We cover about how different the US is from Ukraine. It's interesting because the podcast is actually titled Expats in Ukraine. And I'm technically not an expat. And so far, he's only interviewed foreigners who've lived here for a while. And so I'm kind of like an oxymoron morph here because I am re-exploring Ukraine again, right? And I had just moved back here after 13 years in the US. So technically, I am sort of seeing it in a very new to me light. So that's sort of what we were talking about with Corey on the podcast. And then at the end, Corey asked me what I think about this particular thing that a lot of foreigners in Ukraine think is going to be the most likely scenario or is going to have to be the most likely scenario. And that's when I blew up. Not at Corey, but at this idea and at this thought, basically saying that people who say that do not understand Russia at all and do not understand that, doing that is not going to solve the Russia problem for the world. It's only going to delay it. So yeah, so I'm going to ask you to wait until that episode airs, and I'm going to link it on my YouTube, and I'm going to ask you to go watch it because I do think that we had a really good conversation, and I think that Corey is a really good interviewer. So there is that. Also, a gentle reminder, we are at $353 for the EcoFlow, and I just feel really, really not okay reminding people about it because this is not a military fundraiser. It's a fundraiser, so I don't stay without electricity when the inevitable happens. But if this is not Joey Bro, it isn't. Well, actually, it is. I do not have a New Jersey accent, but I can try to fake one. And Joey has asked me to substitute for him while he's on a vacation with his beautiful wife on a cruise with no internet. So there is that. I'm freaking out watching and the wee goblin chewing so hard on that big rawhide bone she might bite a chunk off. Okay, Cindy is a super chewer. Oh, thank you, Archer. Cindy is a super chewer, and she actually destroys these bones very, very, very fast. Like, so this bone was twice the length that you see now, and she usually destroys these like fast. This dog is a super chewer. Vacation is code for basement. I don't have a basement. I have an underground parking lot, and I couldn't hide Joey in there because there are lots of people there. Okay, Ukraine and Portugal are set to commence negotiations on the establishment of a bilateral security agreement in the near future. As reported by the Office of the President, Deputy Head of the Office of the President, Jovko, and Diplomatic Advisor to the Prime Minister of Portugal, Monteiro, discussed this matter during a video call. During the call, Jovko briefed Monteiro on the situation at the front lines and Ukraine's urgent military needs. Both parties agreed to initiate negotiations on the bilateral security agreement to implement the joint declaration of the Group of Seven in support of Ukraine. Oh, thank you so much. So, Rachel, thank you. So we are actually at 363 now, not 353, because We just got another donation. Thank you so much, Rachel. A Russian Ka-27 helicopter was destroyed in Crimea, said Dmytro Platenchuk, spokesman for the Navy. So I find it so funny when people say it's a stalemate or that Russia is like winning or taking back territory, because in the past like 6 to 8 months, Ukraine has been consistently shooting down Russian aircraft and also consistently blinding Russia in Crimea very, very successfully. And so I find it really, really funny how Russians are just shoving those achievements under the rug. I was also getting a phone call, so I'm sorry. Maxar released satellite images depicting the aftermath of flooding in the Orenburg region of the Russian Federation. The Kremlin has expressed concerns over the unfavorable flood forecast. Anticipating further rises in water levels, the images were captured between April 3rd and 9th. Hi, Pennsylvania. It looks like the flooding is enormous, and most of the houses and apartment buildings have been flooded. And if the flooding is going to continue, it's going to get even worse, which is, quite favorable for us. But also, I don't know if you guys have seen this video, and it's on TikTok. It's been traveling across Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. And it's basically this like Russian girl somewhere abroad. And she's like, everybody needs a villain. And Russia is now the new villain, when in reality, Russians don't want to do anything to you. And all I want to do is respond to that video showing this girl a statistic of what Russians have done to us and what Russians continue doing to us. I also want to film waking up in the middle of the night to an air raid to go to a bomb shelter and say, I don't know what reality you live in, but this is the one I live in because of Russians and Russia. And I saw that video and I was so incredibly pissed. Also, so corny horse. Oh my gosh, Come Horsington. Jesus. Okay. We're going to go with corny. Corny on YouTube says, Olenivka. And yes, Olenivka is one of the worst crimes that Russia has committed. Russia has also executed at least 53 prisoners of war since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. And it's just atrocious. And Russia has killed so many children. In March alone, it's been 11 children, right? Russia has killed thousands of people, destroyed tens of cities in Ukraine, carpet bombed them to the ground. So yeah, in reality, Russia is an awful, awful force. And the problem is Russia, not Putin. Russia and Russians who are doing things and not doing anything. So not doing terrible things and not doing anything productive or good. And I just, I absolutely despise when Russian people try to make it into some sort of a joke or act like they don't understand why the world treats them the way that the world treats them, or that there is no reason to treat them the way that they're being treated, because there is plenty of freaking reasons. Germany has announced a new package of military aid to Ukraine, including tracked all-terrain vehicle Warthog, team car, 2 Wisent-1 demining machines, 6,000 shells of 155mm caliber, 16 reconnaissance UAVs, 30 reconnaissance UAVs RQ-35 Hydron, 30 sets of countermeasures against UAVs, 11 mobile demining systems, 3 mine trolls, 70 infrared cameras, 680 Haenel MK556 assault rifles, 120 Haenel CR308 rifles, 50 Haenel HLR338 sniper rifles, 1 million cartridges for small arms, 5,000 detonators. I'm paused on Joey's channel? Why would I be paused on Joey's channel? I don't think so. I see people talking to me on Joey's channel. Maybe it's a glitch. Hi, Tyrannus. Oh, hi. So, newly elected Minister of National Defense of Lithuania, Laurynas Okay, is Taz here? Taz! See, I'm about to talk about Lithuania, and one of my moderators is Lithuanian, and he makes fun of my pronunciations every single time. So I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that it seems like Taz is not here and butcher the pronunciation, the name of this politician. So, a newly elected Minister of National Defense of Lithuania, Laurinas Kasčiūnas, arrived in Ukraine to meet with Zelensky. We had a constructive and good meeting, and we will continue to work. I presented our entire support package. I want to say that it is larger than we planned, and there will be even more. We will look for all ways and opportunities to further increase the aid, Kasčiūnas noted. The minister added that he also presented the president with Lithuania's plans to deploy combat drones and mine clearance coalition. So yeah, I mean, you know, anytime there is news from Lithuania, I really don't know like what to say, because there is really nothing usually to say about what Lithuania is doing other than thank you so very much for being so incredibly supportive and helpful and generous and kind to us this entire time. Switzerland has announced plans to allocate 5 billion euro to support the rebuilding of Ukraine by 2036. Additionally, 1.5 billion Swiss francs have already been earmarked for 2028. These funds, according to the country's government, aim to mitigate migration flows. The allocation of this amount underscores Switzerland's solidarity with those affected by the conflict in Ukraine and will contribute to enhancing stability on the European continent, stated the Federal Council of Switzerland. Well, new moves for Switzerland. I also don't have much to say about this because Switzerland is, I thought Switzerland was neutral. No, I mean, Switzerland tries to stay neutral, but they have increasingly been leaning towards, small steps towards not neutrality, because obviously how can you stay neutral while you're in Europe in this type of circumstance? Today's kombucha is apple and pear. Tonight's kombucha. 8 countries from Northern Europe and the Baltics are assembling a group of experts to aid Ukraine during the negotiation phase of the EU accession process, announced Tobias Billström, head of the Swedish Foreign Ministry. This initiative aims to streamline Ukraine's journey towards membership in the European family, he emphasized. See, there have been many more talks about Switzerland, about Ukraine joining the EU. Europe has been taking a much stronger stance on its support to Ukraine and on how it sees the invasion of Ukraine, how it sees what's happening. And I think that genuinely Europe is going to step up if the US steps out. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has again called on Ukraine's allies to speed up delivery of much-needed military assistance, including air defense systems and ammunition. Ukraine simply cannot wait. It needs air defense. It needs ammunition. It needs aid immediately, he stressed. Oh, wow. Polish border guards thwarted a breakthrough from Belarus by more than 220 illegal immigrants. Aw. Sad. US only earns on us. Yes, it does, but, what I'm try convincing Trump supporters of that. It's nearly impossible because those people are not operated by facts, and the entirety of the House is basically taken hostage by Trump because he has his people in it. Biden may attend the upcoming conference on Ukraine in Switzerland. Oh, how nice of him. As a rule, the final decision is made only on the first request, especially since Switzerland and Ukraine have not yet sent invitations. Currently, Biden has not confirmed his participation in the American delegation. However, the chance of his arrival has increased. He should take part in the G7 summit in Italy immediately before the planned conference on Ukraine, the publication said. By the end of June, Ukraine will receive a significant part of artillery shells as part of the Czech initiative. This is interesting because in history books, like 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 years from now, the Czech initiative is going to be a historical event. Ukraine and Great Britain signed a framework agreement to encourage cooperation in defense and industrial matters. The agreement was signed at a military-industrial conference in Kyiv, which was attended by about 30 British defense companies. In particular, the British defense company BAE Systems concluded an agreement with the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine on maintenance and repair of L-119 howitzers on site in Ukraine. Anything happened with the US Congress today? No, but yesterday, 2 more Democrats signed a discharge petition. President Volodymyr Zelensky held a meeting on Ukraine's missile program. On our missile program, the chief committee, the Minister of Defense, the Ministry of Strategic Industry, the heads of relevant enterprises did as well. Mass production, new samples of missiles, the details are not public, but our defense has the necessary results, he said in the evening address. According to Zelensky, the main thing is that the army now implements these results. Then this is another Democrat signed today, according to Cheryl. So yes, we now have three Democrats in 2 days. As a Portuguese, happy that my government is helping Ukraine. Obrigado. Ukraine strikes and military targets in Russia outside the war zone are legal, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg noted. It is part of Ukraine's right to self-defense to strike legitimate military targets outside the territory of its country because Russia uses so many different military means to attack Ukraine, Stoltenberg said. And one of these military means is actually Alabuga University in a very far remote area of Russia, where African students who are women and under 22 are being basically imported, because I can't find a better word for it, because that's literally what Russia does. They promise them high salaries and education, and they basically bring them to Russia under the guise of education, and they move them to Russia, to this middle of nowhere, to this college where they literally build drones day and night in 12-hour shifts, and they get paid for that. The German government will deliver about 400 generators to Ukraine due to Russian strikes on power plants. The German embassy in Ukraine noted. Recent Russian airstrikes destroyed and damaged power plants in Ukraine. Millions of people, especially in Sumy and Kharkiv, were left temporarily without electricity. The German government is supplying about 400 generators to strengthen Ukraine in the fight against Russian aggression, the embassy said. Speaking of generators, so if you don't know and you just joined, also if you are coming from Joey, then maybe I don't feel like comfortable, asking you guys. But because Russia has been making so many strikes on Ukrainian electrical infrastructure, I realized I don't have a battery that could power my apartment if electricity goes out. And we have been warned that this summer there are likely going to be rolling blackouts. And normally I don't feel comfortable fundraising for myself. I usually just fundraise for the military, but I do want to ask you to contribute, if you can, for me to buy an EcoFlow, which is about $1,000. It's an expensive little gadget that basically is a battery that powers devices in your home. If it could power a fridge if electricity goes out. So if you can donate, my PayPal is if you're on Joey's account, then you won't know. And if you're on my account, then you can find it in my link in bio. And if you're on YouTube, then Grumpy had put it up very, very many times. What does the generator run on? So you can charge it up and it lasts a long time, or it also has a solar panel, so you can charge it from solar. So it's not a generator, it's a battery. It's like a power battery, and a lot of households in Ukraine have it because it's a very necessary thing, and that's how people in Kyiv survived blackouts, really rolling blackouts last year in the winter. So if you have the ability to contribute and you want to, I do very much ask you to please consider doing so. Okay. In a few weeks, and we are at $363 out of 1,000 necessary to buy that generator. It's an EcoFlow and it's a 1260 watt EcoFlow. In a few weeks, Russia will outnumber Ukraine in artillery by a ratio of 10-1, predicts NATO commander in Europe, Christopher Cavoli. The side that cannot fire back will lose. Ukraine will soon run out of shells and air defense systems, the Washington Post quotes Cavoli as saying. Meanwhile, the Pentagon said that the United States must provide assistance to Ukraine in the coming months. Otherwise, the previous 2 years of investment will not pay off. Yeah, I mean, a lot of European politicians and a lot of European experts are obviously putting a lot of pressure in the US right now because the US needs to wake up. Because genuinely, if it stops supplying us now, then the past 2 years have been a waste of time. Ukraine now lacking air defense. Russian jets freely fly over the front line as they never have before, free to accurately hit Ukrainian positions with guided aerial bombs. The West needs to understand what this means for Ukraine and the whole world. And I'm going to show you what it looks like with Russian jets flying over Ukrainian front lines, because they genuinely are just flying by. Because it's easy these days because we don't have enough air defense, and it's terrifying and it's awful. But I forgot that I don't have internet on this iPad. It's not connected. So that's fun. Love that. Okay, one sec. Let me tether this iPad to, settings. Also, if someone donated and I didn't see it on the screen, then do let me know that you did, and I will add it to the total. Because I wouldn't have seen it if it happened in the past couple of minutes. All right, I think Kyiv's sky is not almost like Israel. I wish it was, but it really is not. It would be great if it was, but it really isn't. And it's actually terrifying because Kyiv's sky is only protected when we have air defense missiles, but we are running out of those. And it doesn't matter how many batteries we have, like Patriot batteries we have standing in Kyiv. If we don't have the air defense missiles, then those batteries don't mean anything. So yeah, here is what Ukraine's front line looks like in terms of power jet, in terms of Russia's jets. Yeah, so not great. NATO fighter jets intercepted a Russian Il-20 reconnaissance plane flying near the Swedish island of Gotland on Tuesday, April 9th. This was reported by the German Air Force. The Il-20, which did not respond to requests for identification, was taken under air control by Swedish JAS-39 Gripen fighters and German Eurofighter Typhoon fighters from an airbase near the town of Lage. Opinion. Congress must let Ukraine win, say Barbara Streisand, Sean Penn, Imagine Dragons, Timothy Snyder, and other luminaries. In this appeal to Congress, more than 35 artists, activists, scholars, and others call for funding for Ukraine. The opinions expressed in the commentary are those of the signatories, and these are, among others, again, Timothy Snyder, Imagine Dragons, Sean Penn, Barbara Streisand, and others. And this is an article from CNN rather edition.cnn.com, and this article is about their petition to the Congress. I don't think we're going to be reading the whole article because it's quite a long article, but I will read you. I will read you the most important part. Together we call upon Congress to do the right thing. Ukrainians are fighting for their existence. On their territory that Russia occupies, it tortures Ukrainian citizens, kidnaps Ukrainian children, and murders Ukrainian leaders. On territory Russia can reach with its weapons, it strikes civilians and rescue workers. Russian missiles, drones, and bombs destroy churches and monuments to the Holocaust. Russian occupation threatens Ukraine's Muslims and Crimean Tatars. Russian leaders say openly that their goal is the destruction of the Ukrainian state and the elimination of Ukrainians as people. Russian propagandists threaten genocide almost every day. Right now, Russia is using missiles and glide bombs to destroy the ancient and beautiful city of Kharkiv, once home to 1.5 million people, just as Russia destroyed Mariupol, Aleppo, and Grozny. Ukrainians are also fighting for our safety and for everyone's freedom. By resisting Russian dictatorship, they show that democracy can defend itself. By defending their borders, they're protecting the international order and holding off chaos. By fighting Russia alone, they protect Europe. By showing how hard offensive operations are, Ukrainians make a Chinese war in the Pacific less likely. By fighting a conventional war against a nuclear power, they're making nuclear proliferation and nuclear war less likely. The Ukrainian armed forces are defending basic American interests. They're doing things that Americans cannot do for themselves. By absorbing the entire Russian attack, they're making other wars in Europe impossible. They deter China without in any way provoking Beijing. By showing that a nuclear power can be resisted, they teach other countries that they need not build nuclear weapons. For 2 years, Ukrainians have protected us as well as their own people. Most Americans understand this and want to help Ukraine, and most elected representatives do too. But we are letting the Ukrainians down. It has been more than 470 days since Congress passed legislation to support Ukraine. That is most of the time since Russia invaded in February 2022. During the period of our inaction, Russia has reconstituted its army. It is preparing a new offensive, testing Ukraine across the front and illegally using CS gas to drive Ukrainian soldiers from their trenches. If Russia breaks through, this will be our fault, and then we will understand what we have lost. Everything that Ukraine is doing for us can be reversed. If Ukraine is defeated, we will find ourselves in a far more dangerous world. It will be a world where we can expect war in Europe and war in Asia, a world in which Russia can cut off the food to the Near East and Africa that Ukraine now supplies, a world without rules and a world full of nuclear weapons. And then it'll be too late to do the thing that right now is easy, help an ally that is in the fight of its life by passing legislation in Congress. Spend about a nickel of the Defense Department dollar, about a penny of the overall budget dollar, most of which, in any event, stays in the United States. We should not let our allies down. Around the world, everyone looking on believes that Ukraine is an easy choice for us. It is a democracy, and we claim to support democracies. Its soldiers are doing for us what we cannot do for ourselves. Ukraine is fighting by itself and not asking for American troops. What America must do to support Ukraine is minimal. If we cannot keep to our commitments in Ukraine, no one will believe that we will support any of our allies in the future. And that is very true because no one does at this point. That will lessen us and create a world of war. And Ukrainians are impressive allies. They're fighting well across a very long front. They have cleared the Black Sea of the Russian Navy, allowing Ukrainian agriculture to feed the Near East and Africa. They have developed and deployed their own weapons. They're doing everything humanly possible and taking painful human losses every single day. But they need things that only we can provide to keep up the fight. Ukrainians are giving us a chance for Americans to do the right thing, for them, for us, for decency, for humanity. Ukraine can protect itself and bring stability around the world. If we allow Ukraine to lose, though, we are inviting catastrophe for them and catastrophe for ourselves. Congress returned to session this week. Time is short, and new dangers can arrive very quickly. Together, we call upon Congress to do the right thing right now. Support Ukraine. Signed, J.J. Abrams, filmmaker, Jose Andres, chef and activist, Gabriel Carteris, actor and trade union leader, Mona Charon, journalist, Misha Collins, actor, Rosario Dawson, actor, Felicia Day, actor and writer, Doug Fears, former Homeland Security advisor, Jonathan Safran Foer, novelist. Sorry, it stopped charging the iPad because it's plugged into a very, very low source of being charged. So unfortunately, give me one sec. Damn, it was clickbait, just Gallagher. What are you talking about? But Courtney says we fucked up already. In my opinion, as soon as Crimea was invaded, we should have been on it. I agree, but unfortunately, that was not the case. So unfortunately, we can only talk about what ifs, basically. Jonathan Safran Foer, novelist, Francis Fukuyama, political scientist, Mark Hamill, actor, Gail Ann Hurd, producer, Dara Khosrowshahi, an entrepreneur, William Crystal, writer, Eric Edelman, diplomat, Imagine Dragons, band, Scott Kelly, astronaut, Daniel Lubetzky, entrepreneur, Michael McFall, political scientist, Kate McKinnon, actor, Alyssa Milano, Viggo Mortensen, actor, Patton Oswalt, comedian and actor, Phillips O'Brien, military historian, Brad Paisley, musician, Sean Penn, actor, Serhiy Plokhy, historian, Ivan Nasakhno, actor, Eric Schmidt, philanthropist, Liev Schreiber, actor, Timothy Snyder, historian, Terrell Germain, star, journalist, Barbara Streisand, singer and actor, Hilary Swank, actor, Peter Wenner, writer and activist, Catherine Winnick, actor. Yeah, Mark Hamill has been amazing, to be honest. But also, so have a lot of these people. Serhiy Plokhy is a Ukrainian who works at Harvard and is the head of the Harvard Department of Ukrainian Studies. He's phenomenal as well. He wrote the book Gates of Europe. Russia sharply increased oil sales to foreign markets amid a reduction in refinery workloads, says Bloomberg. Sorbonne exports of Russian oil in March 2024 increased by 5% compared to March last year to almost 3.8 million barrels per day. This is the highest figure since May 2023. When supplies abroad exceeded 3.9 million in January and February, the Russian Federation exported by tankers 3.5 million and 3.3 million, respectively. Oil that would previously have been processed at oil refineries is now for sale. However, several large Russian refineries were immediately disabled by Ukrainian drone attacks, and one in Orsk was stopped due to flooding. In 2024, Russian oil exports will decrease due to Moscow's commitments to OPEC+. Previously, unclaimed oil would be processed at refineries for the domestic market. Now companies will have to cut production. The U.S. government plans to ban American companies and citizens from using Kaspersky Lab products. Joe Biden's administration is preparing a corresponding order to the U.S. Department of Commerce, which may be issued in a month. Kaspersky is like an antivirus, but it's Russian, and so they can be using that on your computers. The interlocutors of the TV channel said that the ban, CNN, said that the ban being prepared is based on considerations of national security, and they're right. Should not be using any Russian products, especially anything related to IT. U.S. government agencies have been banned from using Kaspersky Lab software since 2017, but a ban on private companies using the software would be unprecedented. According to the sources, one of the goals of the order is to reduce the potential threat to critical U.S. infrastructure. In the initial draft of the order, the ban on the use of Kaspersky Lab products applied to American citizens, but it could be amended. The final list of Kaspersky Lab products that will fall under the ban is still unknown, but it is expected that the antivirus software will be banned first. Makes sense. U.S. officials have for years expressed fears that Russian authorities could force Kaspersky Lab to hand over data or use its software to hack or spy on Americans. The company categorically rejected such accusations. Of course they did. Why would they admit to it? According to U.S. law, Kaspersky Lab will be able to appeal the decision of the Ministry of Trade or enter into an agreement with the government that will move the threat to national security. Ukrainian Ilya Kovtun has won a gold medal at the World Cup in Baku, Azerbaijan. The 20-year-old Ukrainian athlete became the best on parallel bars with 14.900 points. During the night air attack of the Russian Federation, the air defense forces During the night attack of the Russian Federation, the air defense forces shot down 39 out of 40 Shahed drones, 16 out of 20 Kh-101-555 cruise missiles, and 2 out of 4 Kh-59 guided air missiles. The enemy also used 6 Kinjal and 12 S-300 missiles. Russia launched missile and drone attacks against 2 DTEK power stations in Ukraine early on Thursday morning, causing significant damage to the infrastructure. Fortunately, there were no casualties among the workforce. DTEK teams are working tirelessly to repair and restore power as quickly as possible. Over the past 3 weeks, DTEK has faced its most severe attacks since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, resulting in the destruction of around 80% of its available capacity. Despite this aggression, DTEK remains committed to protecting and preserving Ukraine's civilian energy system. Ukrainian thermal power plants have been targeted almost 170 times since February 2022, highlighting the urgent need for assistance in sourcing power generation equipment. Ukraine severely needs air defense. This is precisely why I'm so worried about EcoFlows and obtaining one, because I think we're going to have huge electricity cuts coming very soon, and it's going to be summer, and it's going to be hot, and it's going to be humid, and so, for instance, food in the fridge is going to spoil very fast. Also, charging the computer, literally doing work, and being able to charge your devices and stuff like that, so yeah. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock cautioned members of the Bundestag against questioning the necessity of providing further military assistance to Ukraine, stating that if Putin's offensive cannot be stopped in Ukraine, it will inevitably extend to Poland and the Baltic states. Baerbock emphasized that if Ukraine ceases its defense efforts now, it will mark the end of Ukraine's existence, not the end of the war. She warned that the conflict would escalate and expand to target other countries. Baerbock urged members of the Bundestag to allocate additional budget resources for security policy, including bolstering support for Ukraine. Russia attacked 2 Ukrainian gas storage facilities last night. According to Naftogaz, the storage facilities continue to operate. Specialists are currently working to eliminate the consequences of the shelling, the statement said. As stated by Naftogaz, fortunately, the employees were not injured. Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in Lithuania to participate in the Three Seas Summit. Important meetings and the signing of a new bilateral security agreement are planned, he announced. Russia's army is now 15% bigger than when it invaded Ukraine on February 24th, 2022, according to Business Insider. Over the past year, Russia increased its frontline troop strength from 360,000 to 470,000, General Christopher G. Cavolli stated. According to him, Russia is on its way to commanding the largest military on the continent. And that is freaking terrifying. A congressman argued with a representative of the U.S. Department of Defense during the discussion on Ukraine's strikes on Russian refineries, and I'm going to have you listen to it.
Russia's oil and gas infrastructure. The Biden administration came out and condemned the Ukrainians for hitting Russia's oil and gas infrastructure and suggested that they should not do that again. Can you tell me why, while Russia is attacking Ukrainians' oil and gas and energy sector, why shouldn't the Ukrainians attack the Russian oil and gas and energy sector?
The issue on attacking critical infrastructure is when those are civilian targets, we have concerns because Ukraine holds itself to the highest standards of observing the laws of armed conflict, and that's one of the elements of being a European democracy.
But the Russians are attacking the oil and gas infrastructure in Ukraine, correct?
Absolutely.
And if you're going to win a war, you can't sit back and take punches and not deliver punches. So why shouldn't the Ukrainians attack the oil and gas infrastructure in Russia?
Congressman, we have concerns about striking at civilian targets when we support countries. Again, this is Ukraine's sovereign decision, but we express those concerns.
But those oil and gas infrastructures in Russia are owned by the Kremlin, correct? It's not like they're owned by a private corporation that have shareholders and private assets are being destroyed.
They are owned by private Russian citizens who are part of the Putin regime. That is correct.
I mean, it makes sense to me that we should destroy them.
That is the only time I heard a very thick Southern accent in Congress and was like, huh. You know, I agree with you. Russians shelled Mykolaiv. According to preliminary information, 2 people were killed and 4 people were injured, says head of Mykolaiv Regional Military Administration Vitaly Kim. Death toll in Mykolaiv has risen to 5 people injured. Germany has proposed to set up a new investment fund to support private business investments in Ukraine to help address the enormous cost of post-war reconstruction. The fund is one of the 15 priorities passed by the government to encourage private investment into Ukraine's post-war recovery, in preparation for an international donor conference to be hosted in Berlin. Public money won't be enough. We will also need private investors, German Development Minister Svenja Schulze told reporters. European Parliament today refused to approve funding for the EU Council until Ukraine receives new Patriot batteries. Longtime MEP and former Belgian Prime Minister Guy Verhofstadt of the Renew faction proposed to remove the approval of the European Council budget from the agenda until member states can find the 7 Patriot systems that Ukraine desperately needs. Verhofstadt recalled the words of the head of the European diplomacy that European countries have 100 Patriot systems, while Ukraine needs 7. His proposal was greeted with thunderous applause. The decision was called an unprecedented event. It was supported by 515 MEPs with 62 against. Something tells me those 62 are probably from somewhere around Hungary. Volodymyr Zelensky also met with Petr Pavel, the Czech president, in Vilnius. He also met with the Romanian president, Klaus Iohannis. Prime Minister of Slovakia, Robert Fico, or Fico, I don't actually care how to pronounce his name right, stated at a joint press conference with Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal that his country wants Ukraine to join the EU as soon as possible. Oh, does it? We are not a country that will create obstacles on your way. On the contrary, we want to help to share with you our experience in accession negotiations. Our fingers are crossed for you, he assured. What a delusional guy. Okay, well, this I am going to take with a huge grain of salt because Julian Röpke is a propagandist, an idiot, and generally a horrendous human being who just doesn't check its sources. And he works for Bild. And when Ukraine was doing a Kharkiv counteroffensive, he called it a massive failure on day 2 because he saw two destroyed tanks. Okay. Bild journalist Julian Röpke, who has been covering the war in Ukraine, said that Ukraine has run out of Patriot and Iris-T missiles. He later added, "I will not disclose the amount that remains, of course. But this number was so small that now it is probably close to zero." First of all, Julian Röpke has no access to that data. But go off. Well, Bild is a horseshit source, Grumpy, but Julian Röpke is like, I think, the most horseshit source that you can imagine. I called Rep Austin's office this morning to tell him just that. Thank you. Hi, William. So that is actually all I have for today in terms of updates. And I wish that I didn't end on the note of Julian Röpke, because I just generally don't want to think about Julian Röpke, especially in any scenario that involves, him talking about Patriot and Iris-T defense systems, air defense systems. I also find it hilarious that he thinks that we don't have any air defense left for Patriot batteries and Iris-T batteries, because clearly Ukraine was able to repel quite a few attacks, although we are running low. Mention the fundraiser again. Also, yes, for the first time in a very long time, I am doing a fundraiser for my own benefit, not for the military's benefit. But before you judge too harshly, because of the attacks on Ukraine's infrastructure, I am hoping to purchase an EcoFlow. An EcoFlow device, it's a battery, and it basically helps, it charges your devices in case of a blackout, and that's how most Ukrainians got through blackouts in last winter and the winter before that. And it does seem like there are going to be electricity cuts this summer and some rolling blackouts as well because of how many power stations Russia has destroyed. And so this EcoFlow is $1,000, and today we have already raised $363. So if anybody would like to donate anything towards the purchase of the EcoFlow device, so I can charge my devices, continue going live, and continue working if something like that happens, and so I can plug in my fridge and things like that, I would really, really appreciate that. Also, oh my gosh, Aaron. So Aaron just donated. Thank you so much. And we are at $463 now. So that is very, 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 very lovely. And if you would like to donate, my Venmo is at YEWLEEA. And I my PayPal is YEWLEEA design at gmail.com. And I also have a Revolut and a Buy Me a Coffee on YouTube, but put the link to what? So my PayPal would be this. 1 second. Design at gmail.com. So if that's, I don't know if that's PayPal or also Venmo, which would just be the same as my YouTube and Revolut, but you can also go and use the same links. The benefit in effect? What benefit? I'm confused. Everybody, sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to answer all the questions, and I think I'm getting lost. Big Wheels. Well, what platform interests you, and I can help you. I can help navigate you to help me. How long will what last? The EcoFlow, it's a rechargeable battery that also charges from solar that helps you, that gives you electricity basically when it's like a huge power bank, in the simplest words. And that's how Ukrainians have been living through, power outages. But I moved here 3 months ago, and I don't have one. It's a 7. 7 is my favorite number. I was born on the 7th. Does Ukraine have central air? I don't have central air, but I have an AC in this room and an AC in the other room. How long will this request be open? Well, I mean, until we raise enough money, hopefully, to buy an EcoFlow. So I don't know. Put a down payment. So I mean, I can't put a down payment. I would have to buy it in full online. But also, it doesn't seem like they're running out of stock, so I should be okay. Buy 2 EcoFlows. I don't need 2 EcoFlows. I mean, like, also 2 EcoFlows are a lot. A Patreon link. I do have a link to Patreon, but oh my gosh. I mean, I can. Here, I do have a Patreon. Here, I can put it over there. I do really appreciate people helping. I don't remember Joey looks so pretty. Well, I mean, Joey does look very handsome. He is on a vacation with his wife, and I'm substituting. I think you can buy the EcoFlows with financing. Last time I was looking at them, that would require you being able to have credit in Ukraine, like a credit system. And I moved to Ukraine 3 months ago, and I have never had any income in Ukraine before that because I've lived in the US for 13 years. So there is no financing for me. Am I just looking for one? Yes, I am looking for one. You need 2 in case power is out for extended periods. Sure, but 2 are twice the amount of money, and that's a lot of money. So are you in I'm not in the Ukraine. I'm in Ukraine though. Yes, I'm in Kyiv. Oh, Joey's link. Yeah. Well, Joey on TikTok is Joey Contino 2. I knew you were going to say that. Well, yeah, because it's not the Ukraine, it's Ukraine. There is no the in front of Ukraine. You don't say the Uganda, you don't say the Uruguay, you say the United States, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, because it's an adjective that precedes the name of the country. The states, what kind of states are these? The united ones, but Ukraine doesn't have a the in front of it. So yeah, the basement dweller. I live in the Texas. Yes, we all love the Texas. The Texas is fun. What about a solar panel for the Yulia? I mean, okay, but I live in an apartment, and a solar panel is a whole different situation. Like, I know that everybody tries to help, and you guys are trying to give good suggestions. But the thing is, like, there is a thing that already works. How much money do you need to buy the 1 unit? $1,000, of which we are at $463 already. So technically, it's $537 left. He not here. Yeah, he's not here. Solar panel in the window. Yeah, but then, like, I would have to connect that solar panel to something, right? I don't have a balcony. No, I have a window, and I don't have direct sunlight because I'm on the other side. William, if you would like to, you could use my PayPal, which is, if you would like to donate. Wait, let me. One of the moderators, 1 second. Hey guys, I don't know how to. Oh, here. So it's Yulia design@gmail.com. Or I do also have a Venmo, and I do also have, yeah, the thing is that here's the thing, like, the EcoFlow charges from solar. So the EcoFlow charges from solar. So really, when someone is, I know that everybody is trying to help, but like, I think there is already a solution that I've been recommended by someone who's lived through blackouts in Kyiv, and I feel like getting a solar panel might be great, but also probably is way more expensive, and I wouldn't know how to use it, and I would have to like somehow, I don't even know how these work, to be honest. Like, it's not like I have a roof and I can just put it there. Also, I don't have direct sunlight coming into my apartment. I only have it like in the morning. So I don't think a solar panel is a good solution because like I live on the, what is it, like north facing, I think. Yeah. And that's the I'll send you, I'll text I will comment the sorry, it's Yulia at borlingen.media. Wait. No, you're not a pain. Oh my gosh. Let me see something. Log in. No, you're not a pain at all. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Darza. Thank you. There is another donation of $10, which brings us to $473. I had to try several times before. Did not get discouraged. Thank you. But yeah. Also, they should just plug into EcoFlow. I think they have charge controllers. Yay, wow, yeah, 473. Oh, thank you, Dre. Thank you. Can you get Robbie to hand crank charge it? I don't even know what that means. You can only install solar if you live in a privately owned house. Oh, they should just plug into EcoFlow. I think they have charge controllers. Well, so if blackouts are short and somewhat planned, solar panels are useless. Just recharge the power bank on the up and preserve. Jason, $1.69. Oh man, 473 plus, so 474.69. Oi, oi, oi. I thought we were done with the 69 cents, but apparently we're not. So yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I suddenly started just being very tired and confused. Oh my gosh. Someone from the UK thinks that the EU is gonna fall apart. You can buy a discount. No, I asked Tata. Tata doesn't know a guy, unfortunately, for EcoFlows. I am waiting to hear what William sends. I mean, if William wants to send something, he will send something. If he doesn't, then he won't. You know, it's up to him. And if he does send something, then I can always tell you the donation tomorrow. The only thing that'll fall apart is the post-Brexit UK economy. Aw, thank you, Too Fast for You. I know, but I think he will. Well, he might. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Eva. Hi. Well, if he will, then I will be very grateful. If he won't, then I will still be grateful for for listening to the news about Ukraine, and for following, and for caring. Okay, you guys, I think I'm gonna go to bed. We are ending the night at 474.69, as far as I'm aware, because Max Strax could not fathom to leave it without 69 cents. And I will see you tomorrow with more news, and I will finally try to post more video updates with Masha, because we've both been so incredibly just busy. Oh, that's so nice. If you that's actually very, very generous of you, but if you but if you have trouble with that PayPal, you could also use try and use this one. Oh, establish a PayPal. I see. .media. I will. Well, there is also this one. Will you for real go to sleep? Yes. Once I get off live, I will go to sleep. Oh, you guys, here's what I forgot to show you. Liv videos with her in her new family. Sorry, I totally forgot. If you left already, I'm so sorry, but I have Liv videos for you. She's in her new family, and she's having a fantastic time, and they love her very much, and she loves them. And I will show you Liv in a minute. 1 second. Okay, so I was waiting. Yeah.
Ні, ти підніми, хай вона підскаче. Ні, ну не так низько підніми, вище, так, щоб вона не діставала. Я не можу. Там все, о!
She is so happy. Oh my god. This is her meeting. Oh, wait. Wait, this is Liv meeting her mom's cat. Oh my god. Come on. Stop. Okay, you get the gist. But this is Liv over there meeting her mom's cat, her mom's cat. And she's like, no, what is that? I don't exist here. Oh, wait. I have so many videos of her because I'm so happy. They send me so many videos. I talk to them almost every day. They're lovely.
Бабочка моєнька.
I'm really happy for her. I'm just very sad that that she's not going to, that it didn't work out. But yeah, it makes me very happy that she's happy. It just also makes me really sad that she's not here, You should go visit her next time you're in Lviv. I will be going for the other Easter and I will be visiting her. I already talked to them. I said that I would like to come and give her scratchies and just see her. But look at... Oh. She's so happy there. It's like they're a perfect family for her. He's home all the time. And they, because he works from home and so, they're always with her. There are two people. Both of them love her incredibly and they give her so much attention. And she's just, she's so loved and so cared for. And I'm really happy for her. Truly. I'm just really, it's just hard because I got really used to her and I love her a lot. And, I'm happy she's happy. Oi! Yeah. The other Easter is May 5th. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go. And, Cinny, come here, Baba. Sin, come here. I'm not taking your... What is even in your mouth? That was like the funniest angle. Okay, you guys. Well, this is a better thank you, William. I really, 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 really appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. And thank you very much. And yeah, good night. Bye. Okay, I'm gonna start counterclockwise. I'm gonna go here. Oh, wait. I don't know what I just did, but good night. Good night. And good night.